So for those of you who've been watching, this is the third of a series of 5 sessions to introduce some of the principles of what I call strategy in the 21st century. How companies such as Amazon and Alphabet, Apple and others have dominated in many cases their markets and the principles on which they grow that many of us don't realize they're doing even though they are. What you see in front of you behind me is what I call a 2x2. In previous sessions, we talked about strategic control and we talked about vertical incentive alignment. Think about this. Vertical incentive alignment and strategic control is material to firm performance. And in this short clip, I'm going to give you a little bit of evidence to that effect. In previous sessions, as I just mentioned, we talked a little bit about the story of Minnetonka, a small company that was able to use the concept of strategic control to its advantage to become billionaires. The second, we gave some examples of Procter & Gamble and how they align the incentives with their big customer, Walmart. So in one case, a small company, in the second, a large company. These principles apply to small and large companies alike. So if we think about it, it is material to firm performance. So let me give you some evidence. I call this Life in 2021 and beyond. We went to the S&P 500 in the United States over an 8-year period. We gathered all kinds of data on financial performance, and we went out to subject matter experts and gained some evaluation from those subject matter experts on the ability of every firm in the S&P 500 to either align incentives in the value chain, vertically aligned incentives, or engage well in dominating in an area of strategic control. And we actually classified all the companies in the S&P 500 and how well they do on strategic control and vertical alignment in their core markets. Hence the 4 quadrants you see here. Bottom right is where you want to be. That's the arrow, that black arrow. I call it don't quit your day job because you have sustainable dominance. You're not going to need to look for another job if you stay in this industry because you can sustain that dominant performance over time as long as you continue to hold on to that point of strategic control, as long as you're able to align the incentives throughout the value chain, the principles of the carrot and the stick. In the top left, I call it update the resume because you're going to need to look for a job anyway because others are going to dominate the market. It's just a matter of time is in the bottom left where vertical alignment is strong, but strategic control is weak. Strategic control is a dominant factor. It really makes a difference in terms of performance. And then for the top right, you see I call it's fixable. Just because you can align incentives more easily than you can fix a poorly set up point of strategic control in the marketplace. So we classified all the firms in the S&P 500, only 18% were in the bottom right. And the goal of every firm that's not in that 18%, the other 82%, they should be striving for how do I get to the bottom right. A little bit of evidence based on detailed statistical analysis using multiple regression simultaneous equation systems that we set up to try and examine the relationship between each of these constructs and firm performance. 34% of net income over these 8 years, over 8 years explained by just 2 variables, strategic control and vertical alignment. Companies that scored well on strategic control and vertical alignment had a 70% share appreciation over these 8 years, the 8 years of the study, with more than doubling of their EBITDA, more than doubling their earnings. Whereas companies that scored poorly on both actually saw a decline on both earnings and return on net assets. 41% of share price appreciation over these 8 years, real data from the S&P 500, from the Wharton's WRDS database. 41% of share price appreciation is explained by 3 variables, just 3 variables. That's startling. Strategic control, vertical alignment, and net income. It matters. It is material to firm performance, whether it be the book, The Carrot and the Stick, whether it be some of the online courses you can access here. This is real, relevant, rigorous. It is an opportunity for you to gain strategic advantage in your markets if you use these principles wisely. It matters.